first film is Anna Lily Amarpour's debut feature film, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, which is actually an expansion of a short that she made in 2011 and was partly financed through an Indiegogo campaign. Upon its release, it was touted as the first Iranian vampire western, and certainly it announces its western influences straight away, as the credits roll in a font commonly associated with old western films. The film takes place in the aptly named Bad City, and at one point a piece of music builds to a soaring trumpet climax, clearly alluding to Ennio Morricone's scores for Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns. This isn't a Tarantino-esque checklist of film references though, but a blend of genre and cultural indicators that work together to create a film that privileges image over narrative, reveling in the sensual delights of cinema itself, in the lush black and white cinematography or the use of a good pop song. There is an explicitly American iconography at play here, with Bad City itself seemingly built on the desert next to an oil refinery. We first see Arish dressed in a white t-shirt and jeans with James Dean hair, and his prized possession is a very cool American car. This Americana is complicated though by the population of Bad City, who all speak in Farsi and seem to conform to Iranian laws. At one point, Arish says to Shadar, his employer's daughter, that it's inappropriate for them to be seen in the same room together. These aren't the typical characters that you find in an Iranian film though. Bad City is populated by drug dealers, pimps, sex workers, and a solitary vampire known only as the Girl, played by Sheila Vann. We first see the girl, as the title suggests, walking home alone at night. Her black chador is suggestive of Dracula's cape, and she spends much of the film wordlessly following the other characters, but there are times where she ferociously attacks. Her victims are the men of Bad City, who seek to abuse and dominate the women of the town. The girl isn't your usual female vampire though. Unlike the vampires of, say, European erotic horror, the girl is not a creature of animalistic and savage lust, but more an agent of a quiet and observant vengeance. After the girl observes a drug dealer and pimp Saeed mistreat sex worker Ati, the girl then reveals her true nature. Saeed takes her home, and he has a very typical drug dealer pad, complete with fish aquarium and a slick tabletop, perfect for snorting coke off. Unlike the indie pop and rock that the girl enjoys, Saeed puts on some nasty techno and gyrates before her. And certainly with Saeed's abs and Arish's pretty matinee idol looks, this is a film that relishes male beauty. Saeed then probes the girl's mouth in an act of finger fellatio, which he had done in a previous scene with Ati, but the situation plays out, as you would expect, completely differently. The girl is also not above giving a young street urchin a scare in order to keep him on the straight and narrow. After the youngster runs off, he leaves behind his skateboard, which leads to one of the most arresting images in the film. In a wide shot on an empty street, the street lights illuminate the girl as she glides on the skateboard, her chador billowing around her. The mix of American and Iranian cultural indicators work together to create a powerful image of female freedom, and which also subverts the stereotypes of the quiet, passive and veiled Middle Eastern woman. Inevitably, Dracula's daughter ends up meeting James Dean, and sensing that Arish is unlike the other men of Bad City, and also that he's really, really high on ecstasy, the girl takes him home, and we then watch as a scene plays out in slow motion as the two listen to a pop record and slowly and shyly begin to make contact. Yes, this fear's got a hold on me. There are many moments in the film that use slow motion, often as characters dance or listen to music. This importance of music relates back to Amarpour's background as a DJ, and again emphasises the blending of cultures, with the use of Iranian indie rock bands such as Kiosk and Radio Tehran, who Amarpour refers to as the Iranian version of The Cure. The slow-paced industrial landscape and the minimalist blend of genres and cultures calls to mind the work of both David Lynch and Jim Jarmusch, but this is a singular vision that manages to transcend its mashup of intertextual references and create its own brand of cool. Mention must also be made of one of Cinema's great cool cats who, like the girl, silently observes but then ends up coming along on the journey.